Okay, 15 seconds intro. So this is really cool.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of AI Amigos Show. My name is Marina, and today we are only two. Hi, Janchao. How are you?
Sorry, I have our show open. That could probably the echo. My bad.
Very bad, very bad. So then, how are you doing today?
Oh, good. I'm not too bad. And I think one of the colleagues I work with, he said, Jen, and you always said not too bad. I said, yeah. I mean, what else do you say? I'm a very stable person.
You never said, "Oh, I'm amazing, fantastic, great news." Well, actually, I'm very excited about the program that we have today because the topic of the day is a very hot topic, in my opinion. But before jumping to that, I want to remind our audience that we are sponsored by Tequila AI. This is a company that will tailor AI solutions for you. So then, if you are planning to implement AI in your organization, you don't know how to get started, and you need some guidance, contact our friends from Tequila AI. Tell them that you are coming, from AI Amigos Show, and you will have a very nice treat. So now, yes, let's go to the topic of the day and one of the wonderful things
Yeah.
that Google actually put in the space. The balut gemma. I'm not very sure about the pronunciation. Maybe it could be like a balut gemma, but um, I was reading about it and it's amazing. So basically, for those who maybe just heard a little bit about that,
Mhm.
it's another level, let's say, of language models, because what it is doing basically is it is training the model with data, protecting it. So then it's training the model with patterns and not with the data itself. This is something very innovative. I remember a couple of episodes ago, we had a talk with one of our guests who was talking about decentralized AI. And I
Mm.
believe that this is kind of the beginning of it, especially if we start extracting the patterns and with this, we train the model.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's moving towards more private and also more efficient. I think there's something I wanted to mention in our meeting as well. Sorry, I was just looking at the news at the moment. There's a news in there is very is shocking as well, like from China. So I do think we're moving towards smaller model, more efficient and more private, and probably very soon gonna be on our phones.
No, totally. But as well, like what is the main point here? So uh, what Google did is fantastic, in my opinion, for three main reasons. So the
Mm.
first one is, first of all, they discovered the math that is behind the model. So it was not just, okay, let's build privacy by default, or by a rule of thumb, but they really discovered the math behind the privacy, where they can extract the patterns and then they can use them. So then
Yeah.
this is on the one hand. And actually, I wrote down the name of this because it's a very it's very specific. That is DPSGD, which means differentially private stochastic gradient descent. So then
Mhm.
this is exactly what they are targeting, and their main point here is, imagine the situation now, right? So when we talk about agents, agentic AI, and we talk about OpenAI and Mixtral and Gemini. So what we say is we have different experts. So you
Mhm.
have the best student in the classroom
Yeah.
on the different topics that you can imagine, like medicine, finance,
Yeah.
economy, whatever, right? So then this is what we know. But now, what is going on is that if you're using, for example, OpenAI or Gemini at the moment, as it is, um, the language models, they extract information because they
Mhm.
know where this is coming from. If you use books, articles, websites, etc., it actually takes into consideration where this is coming from. So if you make the comparison, if we continue with the comparison of a classroom, what we can imagine is okay, we have a classroom with all the students, and the teacher can hear the voice of each student, so then you know who is it, right? And
Hmm.
now with this new model, what is happening, imagine that the teacher is in the classroom, but is wearing some headsets. So then the teacher cannot really identify the voice, but identifies the knowledge of each of the student.
Hmm.
So the main point here is like you don't really have a link where this is coming from. You cannot really mention what is the information or what is the data that you get from each of the articles or each of the objects that you are using to train
Yeah,
your model, but you
yeah.
still train it.
That and then that's a good example, like you said. But if we're thinking about the opposite way, it opens a lot of door as well, right? So let's say the people before they wanted to build an AI for a record system, for
Okay.
hospital record system. They couldn't build it before because there's plenty of patient data and all that. They
Mhm.
couldn't train on that. But now they can, right? Because it's definitely not going to be in the model. So there's a opposite. There's a lot of use as well out of this. The private side, you can play both sides, right? So
Oh
yeah,
yes. Yes, yes, but also, something that actually gets my attention a little bit is that Google actually released the papers. So then
mm-hmm.
they are available there for everybody. They are open. So then now every company that is building AI, they can build on top of this foundation.
So they basically follow the footstep of all the Chinese models. Let me
Well,
release the public paper. There you go.
there is a reason as well why is it happening, right? So then privacy now it's not an option, at least not in Europe. In Europe, with the EU AI Act that is coming into force, especially from the end of this year, if I'm not wrong, the GDPR, the defamation, stuff as well that is around there.
Hmm.
So there are so many things that are going around regulation, privacy, compliance, etc. That I mean, now as you said, like we can look at the one side and let's look to the dark side. Okay, so I will go towards both. But
Yeah.
one thing is, yes, privacy is there. It's a need. It's a must. Okay, it's not just okay. It's optional, or the
Hmm.
companies have to actually look into this to say, okay, what they can actually do to protect the data. But now they have a tool or a system or a software, okay, or LLM that is working, protecting the data. So then
Yeah.
there is not this big risk of leak. Now, on the other hand, if we talk about the startup world, there are many startups that started working on compliance because, of course, it was like the topic of the moment. And
Mm.
now what I feel is with this new release, it could be that Google actually overtakes this market, and then those startups they would need to redirect to whatever they were doing.
But wow, that's always been the case at the moment. We know,
I
like,
know.
yeah, we're seeing the trend now. Um, the initial good idea of AI and people using Wrapper to create a startup, the days has passed already. Right? The bigger company just integrated with all sort of stuff into. If they say a good startup, a good use, let's just buy you and integrate. And we can see in the Google has image, video, all that sort of now has learning function, and I think probably the same for OpenAI. They have all different function now and deep search, and they're amazing in Google. So that's that part. What I'm worried about this is I don't know why Google does it, because if they have information in the model, they kind of good to play with their search engine, right? They can mention certain website and stuff. um if they wanted that, would this model still have that? Maybe they just not not using that in the model, but still a searching function at the back or something like that. That's what I'm thinking. And maybe remove a lot of those detail stuff inside the model. Yeah.
Well, so then this is something that I strongly believe that anyway the language models they are getting stronger, right? So then it's something that I don't really feel that they would actually just leave it with no paying attention to that. But on the other hand, something that I was actually thinking about this particular project is what is happening with the companies that they are selling synthetic data. Because here the main point is who will be benefit from this new release.
Mm,
So if you think about that, so in my head comes, okay, medical industry, financial industry,
mhm.
maybe, even people who are taking interviews, because for GDPR regulations, you cannot have certain sensitive data still in your local laptop or your email, even though like
Yeah,
people apply or anything.
yeah.
So I see several industries that would be benefit with this. Now, on the other hand, they were using synthetic data maybe to train different models.
But
But then
I
they
don't
extract
think.
the
Yeah,
data.
yeah. I think the satanic data is here to stay. It's okay because the problem on the training side is not enough data, and what Volt Gamma was sorted is actually put the blurry, uh, put a blur filter on top of the when they're training, right? But you still need the data. But if you don't have the data, it's a problem, right? And then I
You
think
can
it
have
opens the door. Sorry, go ahead.
no, you can have the data, but not for privacy reasons. So this is the thing: synthetic data could be used either to train the models because your data is not enough, for example,
Yeah.
or because you are afraid of using your real data because of the case of a leak, right? And I would
Mhm.
say that this could happen in most of the cases now. So the companies that are selling synthetic data to protect privacy, well, protecting privacy will not be a feature anymore.
Okay. If that's the use cases, yes.
Then
So
yes.
we should learn how to use Volt Gamma now to help them
I
to.
know, I know. Actually, you can install it in your laptop. I haven't tried yet, but it's possible. It's available. It's really a new release, and for now, and I just remark for now, it's for free.
Okay. Okay.
So I would like to remind our audience that you can jump into the conversation if you want to make some comments, or maybe if you try it. I honestly didn't have the time yet. And you can subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn on AI Amigos Show.
Mhm.
Um, so coming back to the point, yes, Shenchao, I think now this one would be like a yes, like a game changer in the industry for
Yeah.
everyone, at least here in Europe.
Yeah.
Now,
Hopefully they validate it. Someone can actually validate it. I don't know. Um,
how is the situation in China? So in China, all these kind of regulations as here regarding the privacy are there or not?
I don't know. To be honest, I've been out of China that long. I never worked in China, so I wouldn't know.
Well, but
Also,
as you visited this year, maybe you heard something or you saw
uh,
something, and that's why.
um, I don't know. Yeah.
Because I
Well,
cannot
I mean,
imagine,
like,
this, for example, investing in something like this.
for one thing, what I know is you can't read this paper. It's from Google in China, so you won't be able to read. Yeah,
Starting from that point, you're banned.
there you go. So I assume they have something. I don't know. They are aiming. They're looking into different thing. I think from the news, from the paper I was reading. So that was in the news. They kind of read a paper about spiking brand. They call it. It's a
Okay.
model. It's a model achieved efficiency of 97.7%. And so, yeah, so what happened with that is normally when all the LLM right now is doing when you throwing a book inside, like, to read, it read the whole thing and then answer you with searched the whole thing, the information, answer you with a section. But this will be like kind of like how our brain really works. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
in which part of the neurons are used to answer specific question. So kind of like a mixture of expert, but in some way it's a bit smarter as well. So thinking about this way, if you're throwing a book into this, it could actually maybe potentially going through like index and find the section, find this answer and give it back to you. So they were able to training on multiple CPUs other than GPUs to achieve that.
Wow.
This is
Well, this is another like super breaking news.
yeah.
Which company actually did it? Do you know?
No, it's from university. They
Mm.
wrote this
I
paper. Look,
always support academia. You know, everyone tells me like, "Oh no," but in academia they are not like there, you know, exposed and everything. And I always say yes, but this is where the knowledge is coming from.
yeah, and
And
then
then you know the industry can implement that.
we can go into the. I can show you this.
Show me,
The news. Let me go
show me,
click.
and show our audience. Like this is super
Mm.
interesting, actually.
Okay, so let's start the news from the back. Right, this
Yes.
is for the Spike brand, and here is literally the paper. I will put it into our comments section. People actually read about it. So this is I was reading through it. This is from China University. Which university?
Okay.
Yeah, this is the paper actually. There were 7 billion models, and you can. So the significance of this is you don't need a GPU to run it anymore. You literally talking
What do you
about
need?
because the efficiency is 97.7%. Basically, you need 3% of power before it can run.
Okay.
And you can see the CPU it use. It's different models than non-NVIDIA platforms. So it kind of breaking the NVIDIA training stuff as well using other GPUs.
And what will happen now? So then this one would be like actually an issue, or it would be an advantage for the companies. It depends which side you are actually standing on, right?
No, because NVIDIA is not selling their GPUs. Everyone thinking about NVIDIA is GPUs, but from machine learning and AI community, we know it's the community it builds the software around it to use the CUDA to train stuff, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
That's
But
NVIDIA.
but here comes the point. Still, you know, with all the energy that we use, for example, for the GPUs, if we don't need it anymore, so it is actually good for the environment as well.
Yeah. So this could be the possibility of you really running those models on your phones and stuff.
Okay.
And they have this you can try. It's a 7 billion. It's on the GitHub. If anyone wanted to try it or run it, I just got this news. This is really new, about a day or two. I didn't get a chance to try it out, but you can try it out.
Well, so this is super cool. Anyway, I honestly, with all the progresses that are happening, you know, around this, I'm kind of yes, I would say like amazed, especially because I remember we talked a couple of episodes ago about the weaknesses of the Transformers, and what they said is like this is not the end. So I'm not really sure that this is actually the end. I still believe that there are things that are happening to actually help, you know, improving the LLMs, and this is the proof of that. So there are many things going on behind that maybe we don't know until there is a paper published like this.
Yeah. So it built on, like you said, it built on a transformer architecture. It's still building on the original one, but it just tuned so much better, and the way the approach is different as well. That's those amazing young mind now, right, from universities.
Well, so you know, in the comparison with the Google release, the main advantage that Google has is the data that they can access, right? So because of course, like Google can access a lot of data, and they train the model with all the data that they have, but only extracting the patterns.
Yeah, they have. They train on the couple data here. Right. They suggest
Okay.
using DeepSeek one, Anthropic 2005 data, Google DeepMind, Gemini Pro, yeah, OpenAI 2025 GPT-5. Wait a second. Suggest performance improve. Sorry, I read it wrong. So it says performance improvements improves with larger model size and more data.
Yeah, of course. Yes, and but it actually makes sense, Sean. So this is why when I see the startups, for example, that they come with an idea, I always try to tell them, try to create something where you can partner with the giants, because if you compete with them, you cannot win. They have in their power a lot of data, they have a lot of clients, and then they have unlimited resources to try and fail, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like a startup doesn't have it.
Yeah, 100%. I'm just very excited. I wanted to try this and see what's going on with that. Same as the Google stuff as well. And the next one, the next news is GitHub has a MCP page now.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's new. That's new. That's actually super nice.
yeah. So in GitHub, you can a lot of them are MCP. You can configure, install them right now
Mm-hmm.
in GitHub now, and those are all official ones. So you can read the documentation, how to do that, and all that sort of stuff.
Maybe
So
you can actually leave the link for our audience, in the comments, and then
yes,
they can actually have a look as well.
yeah. Well,
That's very cool.
and let's start with the fun one. Next one. Remember the Olympic in China with the humanoid robots?
How
Now,
can I how can I forget about it?
yeah, so now this robot, unfortunately for him, he won the race, but he got a job to do. I'm not sure he got paid or not, but he got a job now. So right now he become a sneaker tester because he run the fastest in the race.
No way.
So this is a Chinese brand, right? It's called Li Ning, and this is the kind of gymnastic back in 70s. I think is really famous in China, and then the whole brand is around the shoes and clothes and all that. It's really really big. It's kind of Chinese version of Nike or Adidas in China, right?
Very
So
good.
so
But
he
but
got a job.
But then, sorry, like it's funny, like to think like okay, the robot gets a job. But listen, so then here comes my question. Actually, this is becoming a real market. I
Yeah.
mean, not just like the Olympic Games or like running. I mean, it's actually like a real industry. Like about the robots, because in my head I just imagine, okay, for example, Tesla, right? So then
Yeah.
Tesla, you can rent the robot, you can have it at your home, it can actually go buy, purchase whatever with you, but now you can actually have it as a model, for example.
Yeah, but I don't
As
know
this
how
one-
the shoes gonna be after this. It's gonna be very weird. You're gonna run like a robot to fully enjoy the shoes then.
unless they are really humanoids, so then it's something that we don't really know.
I don't know. We can we seen the race, right? We seen the football, and we seen some of the race. I don't think they're fully human how they run, but
Well, so I still believe that this one was actually the funny news.
yeah,
I still believe that there is a scope for this. It is very niche. I assume that there must be like a lot of people interested in this, and it is good advertising for them, right? Somehow,
yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
for their robot company.
Yeah, research center. Yeah,
Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely, absolutely.
we got jobs.
Well, they can make other kind of money with them, right?
Mhm. And the other one is with Google again. So Google is really flying here.
Or in
Um,
e-commerce with the new Asian payment protocol. Okay,
yeah,
so how does it work?
um, you know our how the payment going on at the moment in the Asian at the moment, right?
Mhm.
And
Yes.
let's say, remember we built, I built some chatbot. You can take kind of Stripe payment, but it's very hard. You have to go in through with Stripe on the at the back end, but kind of hacking around it, trying to get a payment, get a confirmation is hard. But this is Google kind of making a new protocol for every payment for all the payment providers. I think there's a 60 different organization already joined, collaborated with 60 organization.
Mm,
So
okay.
so they're setting up a new standard for the agents to do the payment. So I think it's more secure and all that. And if you're building anything later on, it probably easier to take a payment just when you're chatting, and then you don't need to hack around to call API to pay and to verify the payment afterwards. It might be an insulate kind of integrated better. And yeah.
Well, so you know something that I'm thinking of, the fact that it's more secure, I think it's very needed. In Argentina, for example, there was a case of a girl who she just show up, you know, like on TV saying that she was like with a project, kind of entrepreneur and everything,
Mhm.
and then she suffered like a scam, right? Like a virtual scam. They said, okay,
Yeah.
you know, you can make a payment here or there, and then boom, you know, that's it.
Mhm.
And what I was thinking is here in Europe, maybe we don't hear this that much unless someone call you, for example, and start asking you for your details. So then the scams are getting like more sophisticated, I would say. And
Mm,
with these kind of tools or agents where you can have, you know, maybe more standards that are there helping people, it's actually a very good advance, you know, something that
yeah.
we need at the moment.
Yeah, you can talk about the service, right? You're building chatbot, you're building your AI system, and then now your AI system can securely to take money and take
Yes.
payment or doing refund or whatever. This is right now. There's nothing you have to write yourself to hack around it. But now there's a standard, so it's more secured. I think this is good. But on the other hand, this could be the era of AI taking over. They can accept the payment now. They can pay people to do some
Well,
stuff.
basically this is what people are talking about, right? So there are some professions that probably will disappear at some point.
Mhm.
um I still believe that there will be other professions that will born. For example, in the Industrial Revolution, we saw like so many people who learn how to use the machines, how to operate the machines, and then they continue with their jobs. But then other jobs actually open. It's not that everyone, you know, like went jobless forever. But it might be, you know, a change of the world as we know it, basically. So then in this, I agree, Jan, with all these changes, especially with the bold Gemma. I believe that that one would be like a game changer. First of all, for the privacy, all these startups and companies that they are working on compliance, well, they might need to change or redirect the road. Um,
Mhm.
Second thing is, okay, this is available for all the companies. It is there, it is released. So then, if you want to read the paper and build on top of that, you can do this. And this is
Mhm.
something that didn't happen before. I know that there are communities, you know, and we have when we build and we are working with machine learning
Mhm.
or with the AI, we have different communities, blog, Stack Overflow, and so on, that they are there
Mhm.
for so long. GitHub. Um,
Yeah.
but now the fact that the paper is released and it is there, and you can know what are the maths behind it,
Mhm.
it's a huge change. It's a huge change.
Yeah.
And I feel it's kind of more collaborative, and the beginning, the real beginning of the decentralized AI. And then on top of that, sorry, like I'm talking forever, but I want to actually mention this before I forget it. So another thing that I feel with this new release is this is a super powerful LLM that was trained with absolutely all the data that Google has, and then gets, of course, like good results. The only thing is, if you need the sources, you will never get them. It cannot track it. That
No.
is that's actually maybe like the downside of this. But hey, you can have a super intelligent machine with you.
Mm.
And the news that you mentioned as well about this situation that you don't need to use the GPUs anymore, this could be like a super good change for sustainability purposes.
Yeah. To me, the significance of this, I think the I think the payment is bigger for me because they have the agent to agent protocol and
Mm-hmm.
the MCP.
Yeah.
For this is called AP2. It's called the agent payment protocol, and this is the last piece of the puzzle from my point of view because you can really set up a company with no human being at all now. And before, the payments always pain point, and you can't really do that kind of stuff. But now you can, and it could be set up a company from the sales and all that all to the end, no human at all. That's my kind of
Well, we
thinking.
need to see if it actually really works. I still feel that humans will need to monitor these every now and then,
You can start
especially
small, right?
especially to see if it is actually working right at the very beginning.
Yeah, thinking about if you sell some products, like on Etsy or something like that, and you support um is one of the bots and doing with a whole lot of agent at the back end. You probably don't need people to look into it if it can do everything. It does the refund now if it's possible using agent payment protocol in the future. Yeah, I don't see large companies hard to replace, and there's not many people to write code like that. But uh,
I know. Now when I see here sometimes some companies that they look for, okay, I want an AI developer that
mm,
has previous software development experience, and I don't know, like had experience funding
mm.
here or there, like startup, whatever. And the cherry top is, and they have to be fluent in German. It's like, come on, man, like
Yeah,
better
it's hard.
get an agent, get
It
an
is
agent
hard.
that will work for you.
I mean, when I look at, I was playing around this week with knowledge base, right? How
Yes.
a knowledge graph. I wanted to understand the knowledge graph. How does that work? And on top of, on top of the LLM and build a system, kind of personal assistant. How does that accurately explaining me things and all that? Not just the software skills, and you have to know probably easiest it's just Python. You have to know that, and next thing is you have to know your data. That's data
Yes.
engineering, and you have to
Not just
know.
your data, you need to know how the models are working before
Yeah,
you maybe can run like a couple of lines of code and you get a result and it was okay. But now you need to understand what is behind it because maybe you had to fine tune it, you
yeah,
know?
and then the knowledge graph itself is kind of like a database. It has connections. It kind of spider web all that out, right? You need the data, and then you need the knowledge of database. And
Yes.
this is already three skills. And then you're not talking about how to code on AI and how to prompt it, how to connect to different system. That's four skill. So one more skill, if you know how to fine tune is a totally different beast again. It's a different
Yes,
beast.
it is. I still remember the meme that you
Yeah,
sent me after the fine tuning.
yeah. Always funny. I experiment last week. Fine tuning is very much James' alley. James love it
But
because
the
this is
but
amazing, right?
no, but the worst part is like until you really try it, you don't really know if it is really working well. So
Oh
then
yeah, definitely. You could.
this was my experience when I tried it. When I did it, I was not really sure when was it really working, because even though you
Yeah,
get certain accuracy, you really never know because of the
yeah.
hallucinations.
Oh yeah, and then you have
So
to look into
it's a
the
whole
number.
it's a whole
Playing
different
with number.
universe.
I tell you the experiences that I have with fine tuning, right? And there's a couple numbers you look at. There's a gradient. It says the learning one is supposed to go down, and another one, the value is how many steps it takes, how many learning in one go, or something like that. I
Mhm.
don't remember. There's three or four numbers, and I split the data, 75 and 25 to validate, right? Every little bit it validate once. It fine tune four big section or something. The first section it go down okay, but the one of the numbers, how many stuff you learn. The first one says 200. I said okay, and the
Okay.
next one is 67,000. And
Oh.
I asked Gemini. I said, "Is that good?" I said, Gemini put it very nicely. It says, "Seems like you encountered a significant learn of your model. I said, that must be good. That must be good." And then,
It has to be a good sign.
yeah, and then after I test the model, it's crap. So it's supposed to steady. So that's a good 3 or 4 hours just wasted. It's so simple to waste that you don't know the data, you don't know your model after you fine-tune it. So it has to have people with experience, a trend, like on a daily basis to understand those. Oh, yeah.
I agree.
That was
I
fun.
agree. I agree. And it is hard because it's actually not a very old topic. It's not something that you can say,
Oh,
okay, I've been like 15 years working on that because
yeah.
it is very new. So
Yeah,
I feel that still there is so much to keep working on this. So it's even something that, we have to consider. Jan, we are reaching to the end of our episode. I
Mhm.
feel that we can keep talking and talking about this topic.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. And it's cool as well that you try it on your own.
Oh, I know. I
Because
know.
you can also mention your experience. I tried as well, and I try with pre-trained models,
Mhm.
and it's, as you say, it's another beast. It's another beast.
Yeah, it's definitely one of these.
We would like to know from our audience if you tried at some point, and if you want to tell us your experience, we would love to hear from you. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Chen Chao, was amazing having you. Thanks to our audience for being here as always. And remember to follow us on AI Amigos Show on Instagram, LinkedIn. You can subscribe to our channel. And you can also follow our friends from Tequila AI as well, who are sponsoring our program. Have a great evening and see you next week.
Bye now.